Prior to the business, I never really self-improved, to be honest with you. I didn't pick up books just to grow myself. I kind of just went with the flow of things. And then I came into the business, and one of the very first things they told me was that leaders are readers. And I thought, okay, well, I've never considered myself a leader before, but I definitely love to read. I definitely like to get better. I was working a job my first 8 months in the business, and the restaurant went down. And I had a license, but I was super scared to use my license, right? I didn't really have a lot of self-confidence. I had never been in this type of industry like a lot of people. And I was the type of girl that the minute some bad news would come my way, or my dad would need to, hey, it's time to have a talk, I would just start bawling. Because I had all these emotions inside of me, but I had no idea how to express it. And I didn't know that I didn't know how to express myself. I just thought, well, man, I can't keep these tears from staying inside, right? Like, they're just falling. But as I self-improved, and as I read the stories of people that had gone through bigger trials, bigger obstacles, bigger, giants in their life and had faced them, it taught me that I could do the same. And I started with books that you hear about all successful people reading. I started reading Think and Grow Rich. I started reading Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. I started getting on podcasts. I started learning about YouTube more and how I could improve myself. I would put on motivational, 10-minute videos, and while I was getting ready, I was just listening to it and brainwashing myself. And I think that's really what self-improvement is about taking all the gunk that you've been taught and has been embedded in you through people around you that really do want the best for you. They're just not about improving themselves. And again, not because they intentionally want to, but we're so comfortable with how our life is that when we think of going outside that box, it's a little scary. But yet I didn't want the lifestyle that my family had. I really wanted to take myself to the next level. And I knew that if I was around people that were growing themselves, eventually in turn, I would develop in the process. I still, to this day, I love to entertain. I love to laugh. I love to be that one person that just can crack that hard shell. Like, that's almost like my mission. Like, when I see somebody super quiet, I'm like, I'm getting them. I'll be the one to break that. But it came from me developing myself as a person and knowing that even though I had those insecurities and I still wasn't 100%, and I'm still not anywhere near where I want to be, because really, your income and your success is dependent on how you view life and how you respond to things. And if I wasn't able to grow myself, there's a lot of things that could have taken me out of life in general and could have taken me out of this business. So self-improvement is a huge deal. And that came a lot from my coaches as well. Mario came up and grew up in not the best part of Los Angeles. Franny, the same thing. And if you hear our coach talk, he, definitely has the biggest heart. But he's not necessarily, Mr. Know-It-All. He's not, the A+ student that, honor roll, and which is perfectly fine. That is almost what makes Mario so much more amazing, is the fact that he had all these, I guess you could call them flaws. And he turned those flaws into advantages. And it came from self-improving and working on himself and facing his battles. And every time I saw them go through something, it made me take all my own excuses away and say, hey, if they can get themselves to that level and I'm following that, I could do the exact same thing. And I have, I obviously have a lot of milestones to hit, but the fact that I have examples in front of me that no matter what happened in their life, especially in the tough times, continue to grow themselves, continue to get better, continue to love on people. And most importantly, love themselves, because if they didn't take pride in who they were as people, and they didn't take the time to intentionally grow themselves, they really couldn't offer what they have to other people. And they've always offered more of themselves because they constantly work on themselves. So.